How Far? Chapter 3. National Guard Center. I was still in a decent amount of pain when we left the pharmacy, but I figured we were just going to check out the National Guard Center and it wouldn't be too risky if we were lucky. Besides, even though we took a hell of a beating, there was still a mission to complete. We needed to know if there were any survivor holdouts or if we could even be expecting help from the army. Depending on how bad the outbreak is spread, maybe they're containing it. But by what we've already seen of these things, I don't think I'm getting my hopes up. We had to double back past the house and ride in the opposite direction from where we just came from to get to the National Guard building. I figured it wasn't worth the risk of going back home, resupplying, and heading out again. We might as well just keep going since we're already out. I had to maneuver around several mangled wrecks of what used to be cars. I guess these people were unlucky enough to crash before they could get home. By the time we were less than a mile away from the guard station, we could hear a few gunshots directly in the direction that we were heading. I stopped in the middle of the road when it seemed that there weren't any groups of biters around. I turned back to Hunter. Hear that? I could tell that he didn't need any context for the sound. We both knew that somehow those shots were coming directly from where we were planning on going. Should we still go? It's your call. Not too late to turn around if you want to. He sat on the back of my motorcycle pondering for a moment. My brother's a Marine. If those guys are in trouble up there, I know he wouldn't hesitate to jump in and try and help. That was weird for him. I mean, he's not a bad guy by any means, but I'd never thought that he would risk his life based on sentiments alone. We don't have any ammo, though. He looked down to me with a determined expression. Doesn't matter. If we're careful, we can take a couple of them with just our knives. I was still unsure about it, but I did give him the authority to make the call, and I wouldn't let him go alone. Okay, well, let's just take this slow and steady. I proceeded to ride towards the guard station at a moderate pace so that the engine wouldn't make too much noise as we approached it. It was a straight shot from here. Once we got close enough, I slowed way down to an idle and rolled past the building, carefully studying the entrance by the parking lot. The front looked desolate, but the side entrance was smashed in. I rolled up through the parking lot carefully, trying to be aware of our surroundings. We came to a stop maybe 15 or 20 feet from the smashed entrance. Hunter, we're pretty exposed out here, and there's no cover from here to the entrance. On top of that, we haven't heard any shots for a while. You still sure you want to do this? Before I could even finish, he got off the motorcycle and started off towards the entrance, knife in hand. Shit, I guess that answers my question. I shut off the motorcycle and sped up to get behind Hunter. We entered the building slowly, sweeping back and forth, making sure that the rooms were cleared before we got to the long hallway. We stopped and I peeked around the corner. It was dark, save for some small red emergency lights illuminating the hall about every 10 feet or so. Even through the darkness, I could see several bodies littering the hallway with dark pools of blood surrounding each of them. I turned back towards Hunter to tell him what I saw. There's a few bodies in the hallway. I can't tell if they're turned or not, but the blood still looks fresh. He nodded and I signaled him to follow me down the hallway. Right as I turned the corner, I heard a deafening explosion and a burning sensation on my left shoulder. It caught me by surprise and I fell to the floor. I heard a couple more extremely loud sounds before Hunter quickly dragged me back around the corner by my legs. As my mind cleared, I could see that a bullet grazed my shoulder. What the fuck? Hey, we're human! There was a short pause before a shaky voice called back to us. How do I know you aren't one of them? Hunter and I both looked at each other shocked. What do you mean? We're talking to you for one, I said sternly. There was another short pause. Hunter stood up. Do you have a flashlight? After a moment, the voice replied. I do, but I'm not turning it on. It'll just reveal my position and then you'll come with your little friends and eat my goddamn face. Hunter looked down and sighed slightly. Okay, well, just toss it down here and I'll come out of cover and point it at my face. Then you can see that we're human, okay? I tugged on his pant leg until he looked down to me. Are you fucking serious, dude? He's just gonna shoot you. He's obviously fucking Hey, throw me your flashlight. I'll point it at myself and you can see we're just a couple of regular guys. After a considerable period of silence, we heard a small grunt and a flashlight rolled around the corner. Hunter picked it up and turned it on, then slowly began rounding the corner of the hallway. Okay, I'm coming around the corner, please don't shoot me. As he stood in the middle of the hallway, I could see that his normal and calm attitude towards everything was fading away in this moment. Maybe he realized that this could be the end for him if this crazy fucker decided he wanted to pull the trigger. I swear I could see a bead of sweat rolling down his nose, and just as the sweat pooled up enough to finally drip, the voice called out again. Alright, I'm coming out, okay? I won't shoot. I looked at the Hunter standing in the hallway and the look of relief was very apparent. I stood up and rounded the corner to stand by him. You know you already shot me, right? I could see the silhouette of a single man come out from one of the side rooms, about 3/4 of the way down the hallway. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just a flesh wound anyways. You should be fine. As we both made our way towards him, I muttered under my breath, "You should be fine, it's just a flesh wound." Hunter kind of jabbed me in the ribs and I keeled over and let out a little whimper from my recent injury on our last encounter. "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I forgot." I waved him off and we continued walking to the figure. Once we got closer, I could start to make out most of his features. He was definitely younger than us. Probably some kid fresh out of high school that didn't have anything better to do in this small-ass town. He was pretty tall, almost our height, dark black hair and a little stubble growing on his face. Even through his fatigues, you could tell that he was a lot more fit than either of us. I guess that's the kind of body you need to get in the military, though. Jake Flores, private first class in the United States National Guard, he stated very clearly and professionally, while holding his hand outstretched. I think this is the only thing this kid ever practiced saying to his superiors. We both shook his hand after a moment. "Easy, kid, I don't think any of those titles matter anymore. I'm Valente, this is Hunter." He seemed a little taken back by my remark. Nice to meet you. Sorry I shot you. Those things have been trying to get to me for hours." We looked down at the corpses of the infected. Hunter looked back up to him and down to his rifle, a standard military-issued M16A2. "You must be a pretty good shot to take out all those guys with only headshots." Jake looked down to his kills and then back up to us as if he was a proud dog that just brought his owner a big stick. "Yeah, I passed the rifle portion in basic with flying colors. Almost a perfect score." I gestured down to my still bleeding shoulder. "I guess I should be happy that you didn't ace it or I'd be lying down there with him." His proud expression quickly changed to remorse. "Hey man, come on. I told you I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those things." I laughed a bit and gently punched him in the arm. "It's all good, man. Don't sweat it. I probably would have shot you too." This time his expression changed from remorse back to nervous. Hunter interjected. "He's joking. I think. Anyway, where's the rest of your unit?" Jake looked down to his boots. "I don't know. The day that everything started happening, I came straight here to report for duty like we're supposed to, but nobody ever showed up. So I moved all the weapons out of our armory into this room along with all the MREs that were in storage here." Both of our eyes lit up. "Armory? You have more guns and ammo here?" We ran out making a run to the pharmacy. He gestured us to follow him to the safe room. "Well, there's not a lot, just a few more M16s and about 1,000 rounds of 5.56. As far as food goes, I've gone through most of the MREs already. There wasn't a lot stored here from before since we didn't use this building for drill very much. Usually we went to one of the bigger military bases." Hunter and I both looked at the stockpile of several rifles and a large box full of ammo. We were like kids in a candy store. "Holy shit, can we use these? Those motherfuckers wouldn't stand a chance against these." Jake stepped up to us. Whoa, easy guys, you're still civilians." I stepped close to him. "Dude, you know what's out there. Old world rules don't apply anymore." He looked down at his boots again, falling silent thinking about it. Hunter put a hand on his shoulder. "Look, what if we made you a deal? If you let us use your guns and ammo to keep our people safe, then we'll let you live with us. I mean, we have plenty of food, which is what you're lacking right now, and on top of that, you're a seriously good shot. We could use a guy like you to help us keep those things back." Jake looked back up slightly, but still not making eye contact. "Well, I pulled Hunter away and began speaking to him softly. "What the hell? You can't just invite random people to come live with us. We don't even know this guy." Hunter glanced over his shoulder and back to Jake. "Look at him. He needs us just as much as we need him. He's been here, alone, since the start. He's probably going stir crazy. And besides, it could never hurt to have a soldier like that to help protect us. I mean, think about it. Realistically, who's the best that we have in a fight? You, me, and Sam. The rest of us could try, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as useful as he would if someone decided that they want what we have. I mean, we may not have tons of food right now, but with his help, it would make it a lot easier to go on supply runs. Having him and his guns gives us a major advantage." I looked past Hunter's shoulder at Jake, who was still staring at his boots across the room. I glanced back at Hunter, noticing again the bruises on his neck from where the biter had grabbed him earlier, then down at my now clotting wound on my shoulder and feeling the tenderness of my ribs. We were in no shape to do anything if a group of survivors decided to attack us. We would be helpless. Hunter's right. Jake could turn that around for us. He may be socially awkward, but hell, so am I. Hey Jake, the offer stands. If you let us use your guns to keep us safe, then you can come with us. I think you'd be a pretty good fit. Jake's gaze bounced around for a bit as he contemplated the offer when eventually he looked back up to us. His eyes glowed as if a tiny flame of hope returned to them for the first time since this all started. I think I can agree to those terms. We all smiled and shook his hand again, sealing the deal. Welcome to the family. After a few moments, Hunter popped up as if he just realized something. So, how are we supposed to get back to the house with all the supplies? We only have the motorcycle. I was so caught up in the moment that I didn't even remember that. Jake gestured us back to the hallway. Well, see, I was thinking about that and what I would do if it came to the point where I had to get out of here in a hurry, so I set up one of the Humvees outside the motor pool. See, it's right outside this door. Will that work? Hunter and I exchanged glances. Yeah, that would definitely work. It took about an hour to gather up everything that we could from the guard station and load it into the Humvee, including maps, radios, and emergency procedure plans in case something like this ever happened. I figured we could go through it later and see if we could get into contact with anyone. By the time we were done, it had already been hours since we were supposed to be back at the house. Hopefully everyone wasn't too worried. Who am I kidding? Of course they're worried. We missed our check-in time and it's a fucking zombie apocalypse. Hey, we better wrap this up fast. It's gonna be dark soon and we missed check-in a while ago. Hunter and Jake both nodded to me and within a few minutes we were ready to go. Jake and Hunter got into the Humvee and I got on my motorcycle. It wasn't too difficult to maneuver the Humvee back around the side streets to the house since we had traveled the route previously, but it was still a lot wider than even a normal car. We eventually got back to the house and I pulled up first so that everyone inside wouldn't freak out. I hopped off the motorcycle and ran up to the front steps, knocking on the door. After a short while, Sam swung the door open. Where the fuck were you? You were supposed to be back hours ago. Just as he finished his sentence, Jake and Hunter pulled up into the driveway and started unloading the cargo. We picked up a friend along the way. I'm not gonna lie, I had a shit-eating grin watching the reaction to a soldier unload several military-grade rifles and ammo out of a Humvee, bringing them inside. While everyone else were introducing themselves to Jake Flores, our resident superhero, I was taking all the guns, ammo, and supplies that we had grabbed on our trip and adding them to our inventory logs. With the radios that we picked up from the guard station, we'd be on a short-range encrypted channel and we'd be able to talk to each other on runs without anyone hearing what we're saying. On top of that, we just picked up a shit ton of firepower and a literal soldier to back us up. Maybe things aren't as bad as they seem. Hopefully our luck holds out. I mean, Hunter and I are a little shaken up, but nothing that won't heal over time. Hello again. I just want to say thank you for listening once again. I know it's been a while since my last upload. I've been pretty busy, but yeah, I just really want to thank and appreciate everyone that has been listening, and I know it's mostly family and friends or whatever, but I really do appreciate it, and I can't wait to see where this goes. So thank you very much. Goodbye.